Taking a break from the mainline archetypes of Special Booster 2.5, specifically BT20, I wanted to take a break from fully fleshed out archetypes and look at the miscellaneous cards of the set. For this video, the focus is the Gigaseadramon cards, Raidenmon, and of course, the newest DeathXmon. As always, if you enjoyed these types of videos, do consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and hitting that notification bell for more future content. Starting with the newest DeathXmon, this level 7 Digimon returns to the Digimon card game, 11 sets later. While the previous version could have its play cost reduced, this one has no such ability. Instead, this play cost 15, 5 to digivolve into from a level 6 purple Digimon, has security attack +1, reboot, and blocker. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area by effects, by returning 3 cards with Dex or DeathX in their names from your trash at the bottom of the deck, it doesn't leave. At this point in the game, when something doesn't want to leave, you've got really only 2 options: D-Digivolve and DP Reduction. This Digimon also sports an end of all turns effect, where once per turn, delete all Digimon with the lowest level. While this is a powerful effect, this effect punishes all players, not just your opponent. Which means if DeathXmon is the only Digimon in play, it will be deleted by this effect, though you could just return 3 cards with Dex or DeathX to prevent it from leaving play. As for its related option card, the Apostle of Doom Descends is the only other card to cover. It's a 3-cost purple-black option card that main, one of your Digimon may digivolve into a level 6 or lower Digimon card with the Dex or DeathX in its name in the trash with the Digivolution cost reduced by 4. Then you place this card into the battle area. This is in some ways an upgrade of Dex Digivolution, but you are going to require all the colors to use it. As for the targets, you have DexDorugoramon, 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 and of course, DeathXmon, though this is a level 7 Digimon. This card also has a delay effect, in which when any of your DexDorugoramons would leave the battle area, delay! By returning 1 Dorumon from those Digimon's Digivolution cards to the hand, you may play 1 DeathXmon from your trash without paying the cost. Hilariously, as I read this card, I thought of 2 things that can counter this mechanic. First, stripping the Dorumon source seems like child's play, if you want to then bounce the DexDorugoramon. But of course the second thing is your typical floodgate that prevents Digimon from being played by card effects. In security, this option card simply lets you play 1 Dorumon from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then this card drops into the battle area. You know, it definitely helps that you could utilize BT7 Dorumon as a means to skip steps, jumping to Dorugoramon with Kosuke Kisakata, and then the X-Antibody pushes you to DexDorugoramon. Of course, other conditions will need to be met. As for the Raidenmon line, the starting point is Solarmon, a simple level 3 Digimon that could be used with the Invisimon line with blocker and an inheritable reboot. Blimpmon as well could be another machine that's added to the Invisimon line and also has reboot. But unlike Solarmon, it has an on-play and when digivolving effect, where one of your opponent's Digimon can't attack players until the end of their turn. While the level 5 Digimon takes a more similar approach to a lot of level 5s that can redirect attacks to this Digimon when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks. At this point, blocker is going away because more and more Digimon effects are preventing Digimon from suspending. So ultimately, the way to power creep the keyword blocker is to provide an inheritable that redirects attacks. This Digimon like Solarmon has blocker, and has an opponent's turn effect that when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play 1 play cost 4 or lower Digimon card from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. With targets like Blimpmon and HoverSPmon, that is actually really nice. Though one thing I find interesting is that this Digimon plays out Digimon from the sources, but it's mono black. Seems like a blue thing to me. As for Raidenmon, this level 6 machine Digimon has an on-play and when digivolving effect that deletes one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 7 or less. Not terrible, considering with the motifs of Blast Digivolution Digimon, the safety of even level 6 Digimon comes into question. All turns, when this Digimon would leave the battle area, you may play 1 play cost 11 or lower Digimon card with the machine or cyborg trait from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying the cost. Conveniently, you can digicross this Digimon with Raidenmon, Fujinmon, and Suijinmon to call forth the wrong franchise. Raidenmon for a cost of 6. As long as you can accelerate your card draw to hand, it might be possible to draw multiple digicross pieces to make this deck work. While true, this line could have been included with the Invisimon set review cards, let's be real. These cards aren't Liberator trait, which is what I'll defend the basis of throwing them into the miscellaneous cards. For the third and final line for this video, it's all about combining the X Antibody with the Seadramon cards. Crabmon X is the first card to go over, a level 3 Digimon that digivolves from Crabmon for 0, or digivolves from a blue level 2 for 0. Interestingly, the play cost for this Digimon is 4, and while some players may argue that it's a little expensive, there are some X Antibody Digimon that are this costly. The inheritable is simply a draw 1 when attacking once per turn effect if you have 7 or fewer cards in hand. Similarly, Seadramon X has the same inheritable, with a special Digivolution cost from Misc for 0. It has an on-play, and when digivolving effect that returns one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then if you have Seadramon or X Antibody in the sources, one of your opponent's Tamers can't suspend until the end of their turn. Potential Floodgate removal and Tamer stun? Nice. With Megaseadramon X, this card also digivolves from its counterpart for a cost of 0. On play, and when digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the bottom of the deck. Then, if Megaseadramon or X Antibody is in the sources, one of your opponent's Digimon can't suspend until the end of their turn. In other words, this bumps up the Seadramon's ability from a 3 to a 4, and from a Tamer to a Digimon. As for its inheritable, it's a simple prevention of attack targets from being changed. Now the question, what's better? Wankunmon or this card? You decide. Of course, there is also the contention of just using Megaseadramons because those provide the unsuspend. For the last card of this video, it's Gigaseadramon, the X Antibody variant of metalseadramon. For 2 memory, you can transition from metalseadramon to this Digimon, or pay a whopping 5 memory from a blue or black Digimon card. This Digimon has Security Attack +1, Reboot, and Blocker, and a when digivolving effect and when attacking effect, that once per turn from the Digivolution sources, if you have Metalseadramon or X Antibody in the sources, you may play one level 5 or lower Digimon card without paying the cost. Additionally, all turns, once per turn when any of your Digimon are played from the Digivolution cards, you de-digivolve 2 from one of your opponent's Digimon. And conveniently, this Digimon is the aquatic trait, meaning with certain card combinations, assuming you have the X Antibody or that Metalseadramon, you could play out a level 5 or lower Digimon, then suck it back up with Megaseadramon from BT15. Pretty neat combo, right? But for this particular video, there were 3 different archetypes, each with its own deck that could be built. And rather than push for a specific deck to be done now, this video is offering ideas and concepts for players to explore. Raidenmon could ultimately lean into a more heavy machine deck, and capitalize on the other top-end cards like Reapermon or even Invisimon with all the machine and cyborg support. The only unfortunate thing is that Machinedramon typically tucks cyborgs, but on the bright side, Chaosdramon X does not care. So ultimately there are many places you could expand this archetype into. With DeathXmon, this finalizes the rest of what Digimon Seekers was missing for Dorugoramon, and with additional protection and board control, I could definitely be persuaded to run these in a deck. And finally, as for Gigaseadramon, I'm not entirely convinced the entire X Antibody line is necessary, and early theory crafting shows that you could utilize it with the Yaoqinglon engine of Ryugamon. What were your thoughts on the miscellaneous archetype, and how are we closing out the rest of BT20? Join me tomorrow for the final set review episode with Digimon Seekers, because by the end of this week, BT20 drops in Japan. This is DIGI-PANDA, logging out.